Lewis Mitchell, nicknamed Earp. He says because his dad liked Wyatt Earp. His contemporaries will argue that it was because Lewis Mitchell was such a sharpshooter that they nicknamed him Earp. But like Kevin Greavy and some others out there, pure shooters, never had a shot that he didn't like, but Mitchell was different because he would, at least I'm told, acknowledge that his teammates were open and then shoot. So not passing to, just passing on his guys and taking the shot. He made his mark in basketball as a superb player at Newark High School and Denison University, continued to have an influence on the game after his playing days were over. On completion of his career at Denison in 1957, Mitchell was considered the finest basketball player in the history of the school. He averaged 20 points and 14 rebounds over per game, that is, over 4 years, and he led the Ohio Conference, the entire conference, in scoring and rebounding twice, both scoring and rebounding, which he told me that he wouldn't have been such a good rebounder if he was a better shooter. In 1966, he obtained a North American Basketball League franchise for Columbus, turning to the business side of things, served as general manager and coach for the team that included former Ohio State players. As a partner in a Cleveland investment firm, he assisted in raising the initial capital for the Cleveland Cavaliers franchise. He served on the club's board of directors for 10 years. In 1994, you talk about giving back here, he donated the Mitchell Athletic Center to Denison. Giving back to the community, today he gets into the Ohio Basketball Hall of Fame. Please welcome Lewis Mitchell.
Thank you, and thank you all very much. What an unbelievable honor for myself and for Denison University. It's just an unbelievable pleasure for me to be here. I want to thank the members of the committee, particularly Gary Walters and Jimmy Burson, Gene Millard, and all of you others for making me a part of this outstanding group of basketball players. Also want to mention how appreciative I am of having, I have 6 children, and all of them are here. 3 daughters, Judy, Connie, and Sandy. 3 sons, Mark, Tad, and David, and their spouses and friends are all here tonight, along with many, many friends and relatives, and a wonderful contingent from Newark High School over there. And I appreciate so much. You all know who you are, and I appreciate so much your being here to share this moment with me. Last year, those of you who are here, I don't know if you recall, but Jim Burson gave a very wonderful description of his magical carpet ride in his life of basketball, and you'll be glad to know I'm going to give you a very short one here, but started out as a kid back after the Second World War, going down and watching the great Newark High School basketball teams at an old gym down on South 3rd Street in Newark, watching those great teams play when I was 11, 12, 13 years old. And remember going out there when the varsity was warming up and the ball would come off the side, and I remember I'd grab the ball and shoot it back in, and some people would applaud, and that sort of edged me on and everything. But I can also remember those games in Newark. Newark had great teams under Max Douglas back in those days. He was the counterpart of Paul Walker at Middletown at the time. But I can remember sitting out there and watching those players before the game started. The lights were out, and you could see the silhouette of the players while the Star Spangled Banner was being played. I can remember sitting out there and watching those guys out on the floor and saying, someday I'm going to be there. And I was so fortunate to be able to play for Newark on one of their great basketball teams in the early 50s. And my magical ride went on from there. I went to Denison University and had a wonderful time playing ball. There was a good fit for me with my limited abilities. And then I went on, as I say, was involved with the Cavaliers and have played basketball. Was down there playing basketball like Barry Clemens was when I was 65 years old, and until your body gives out. But basketball's been a tremendous thing in my life, and I appreciate it so much. And to be included here as a member of this Hall of Fame, with being the second Newarkite to be included in this Hall of Fame, with Freddie Schaus, who was a legendary person. He was one of my first basketball heroes when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and to be included with him in this wonderful selected group of people, it is just an unbelievable pleasure. It's been a wonderful, majestical carpet ride, and I thank you all very much, and congratulations to all the inductees.